Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirasho here, and now, before we do get started, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. Now, the Brotherhood of Steel may have their eyes on Vault 16, and this is very bad. Deku, he knows about a lot of the technology and a lot of the things their vault has access to. He's aware that there are things he doesn't know, but the things he does are greatly important. From what he's seen of the wasteland, their vault may be truly the last bastion connected to the old world. And this, it just emphasizes its importance. Deku's seen much death. He's seen many vaults that have failed. And the fact that only one of them can truly be called good means quite a bit. Vault 3 failed because the residents were killed by the fiends. Vault 21 had their doors opened. It was turned into a hotel and a lot of the residents did leave. But they do still inhabit it. That means quite a bit. Mr. House lost that poker game. And that means quite a lot for the residents who do exist there. The only other remaining vault dwellers who are potentially alive are the boomers who are the descendants from Vault 34. And that does mean quite a bit. During the family dinner, Deku, him and Marcy announced what was happening. Marcy's pregnant, and Inko, she was trying to go over the complex science in her head. Well, Marcy, she told Inko the basics about how she believes things have happened. Animals have been protected by the radiation. And because of this, their haploid cells are able to self-replicate. These are their reproductive cells. And because of the animal genetics possessed in a lot of the vault dwellers who are experimented on, it's believed that they have those haploid cells. Deku and Marcy kind of prove that theory. Now, the fact that they no longer have to hide this means a bit. The dinner got a bit tense, and Deku, he did have to try and calm things down. Afterwards, it ran a lot smoother. But Deku, he started to have a little bit of panic settle into him whenever he was just sitting there. He left quickly, knowing he was about to explode. He ended up destroying a custom-made punching bag for the mutants. And there was where he was taken away by a friend of his to go fight some people who can take a punch. He went to the Mutant Fight Club. And a lot of people there, they were surprised when they saw Deku step in. But from the way he was acting, they realized he had to blow off some steam. And Deku, he definitely blew off some steam. Chloe, she set up this little encounter. And Deku, he was then taken away. And we do currently have right now. It's been a few hours. It's nearly 2 in the morning in the vault. And Marcy, she's already gone to bed. Chloe, however, she is still up and a bit worried. If it was the right call to make. If it was stupid. If it was reckless. It definitely was something. Right now, she's just hoping Deku hasn't put anyone in the medbay. If that happens, that means he went a bit too far. It means that he had a serious panic attack. He can handle them. He can handle himself. If there's one thing he's good at, it's making sure to pick up the pieces to himself. It's making sure to try and keep himself together as long as possible. Hell, he may not need peace, he might just need another fucking war. If they go to the war with the Brotherhood, that'll be exactly what he needs to help himself. And this thought, it is slightly annoying. The heat in her chest, it's still nagging at her. However, she has been following the doctor's recommendations and taking doses. And this, it does also have her a little bit antsy. She knows it's the animal side of herself. She doesn't want to try and give into it. But she wants to run and comfort Deku. Let him know everything's okay. She doesn't like the touchy-feely bullshit, but that part of her, it's flaring up. And right now, she is in a bit of deep contemplation. Her just hyper-focused on that door. And that concentration snaps the moment the door does go to slide up and down. Right now, Deku being somewhat dragged in on the arms of two people. And he does have his feet under him, though he is laughing a bit, as the three, they do have some wounds. There is Tracy, the African girl with the dark hair, and she does go to stare at her. Right now her ears poking up as she does go to turn to Vince, the young man who she knows is reptilian. He does have brown hair, and his eyes are blue. However, he also does have a broken nose, and from the swelling on his face, he definitely took a few hard blows. Though there is also Deku. Deku is grinning like a bit of an idiot. He's got a busted lip, and the left side of his face is slightly purple. Along with that, from what you can see, he might have broken some ribs. Then again, they're probably just bruised. And he does go to bring up his hand. Right now, the two letting him go as he does try to make his way under his own power. And whenever he does go to walk over and sit down on the couch, he does a turn to Chloe. Him nodding to her as he does a turn and nod to the other two, talking about it. He really didn't need that. Then again, there's a lot going on. The two can have some time to themselves, or just head to bed. He'll try to be up early, but if the overseers do need to brief them on things, then just make sure to be aware. They might get called open early. Understood? I got it. Wait. Them all turning to Chloe. And she does get to ask if they had their fun. We did. Yeah. Your boy toy over there, he's, frighteningly good at unarmed combat. Yep. I've helped him out on that. Though, how about you, Tracy? You have your fun? I definitely did. Then again, I've got to say, taught him pretty well. Though, let's let bygones be bygones. That does depend on, are you going to leave it alone? We might be able to work something out. Maybe discuss a few things. I don't see that happening. Yes, Vince? Yeah, as much as I would love to see this cat fight, I gotta go. I'm pretty sure I cracked my back. You're fine. I already checked you out, you're good. Besides, I'm just trying to have a bit of fun. I've already had to deal with a few things I don't like to. Though, are we going on an expedition tomorrow? I don't know. If we're dealing with the Brotherhood, we'll need a comms array set up. And if we need that, then we're going to need to deal with a few other things. Listen, you two. Right now, it's unknown. Thanks for the help getting back here. I should be fine. You're welcome. Then again, if you ever need to spar again, let me know. It's entertaining. Yeah, I can try and do that. Though, go ahead and tell Cynthia I really don't want to fight her again. I mean, shit, she's fast. Oh, hell yeah. I mean, you should have seen it this one time. She got Tracy, and it was this weird fight where she just shut up. What? I said shut up. I mean, I don't like that fight. It wasn't fair. Hell, you try fighting a big old spider bitch. I don't know. It seemed like you had your fun. It was a challenge, but it gave me the runaround. You two can go now. Right. Enjoy the rest of your night, you two. Her turning and going to leave. And that does actually somewhat surprise Chloe. She didn't try to make another comment. She didn't try to turn it into a joke about, okay, so something is clearly on her mind. And Deku, he does go to sit there, waiting for them to leave as he does try to get to his feet. Him doing so, and going to somewhat wince whenever his ribs do feel a shoot of pain. And Chloe does get a turn, making her way over to the freezer, pulling it open and going to pull out a bottle of alcohol as she does a turn and put in the other bottle inside. Making her way over to Deku with another glass and beginning to talk about it. So, he stayed out a little late? Yeah. Sorry, I just needed to clear my head. The dinner kind of got to me. How so? Her making her way over, and she does go to slowly push Deku back down onto the couch. Right now, her handing him his glass as she does to pour him something strong. And Deku, he does a turn to look at her as she does go to pour her own glass and then go to turn, sitting down as he does begin to express. It's about the Brotherhood. He was thinking. They finally had a minute of peace. It was so fucking weird. They had a minute just to feel normal. But it doesn't feel normal. All of this. At first, it was the Enclave. That was the biggest threat to them. They took it out, and now there's the next threat. The Brotherhood. They fear them for what they have and what they don't know about them. Right now, if the Brotherhood discovers those people missing and they track them down, if they find any sort of evidence connecting them to their disappearance, that's a bad thing. They're going to need to modify every one of those T60 sets to fit their own needs. T60 isn't a model they make anymore. It's a model that they haven't fabricated in a while. Most of the prior suits were upgraded, and most of the other suits have been getting upgraded. That's the thing. They can probably hide them with the Enclave siege sets, but that's another issue. They're they're never going to be able to find peace. Tomorrow it's the Brotherhood. The next day it's Caesar's Legion. If they do become a problem, then it's the NCR, then it's Mr. House, and then what? How many people is he going to need to kill before they finally stop trying to kill them? How large is this pile of bodies going to be? They've killed hundreds of people, and they've survived. He's had to become Lord Death in order to survive. That sounds like quite the burden. I know. And that's the issue. You're not carrying it alone. I know. Marcy's not a fighter, but she had to fight. I'm what? You're a fighter. You're a soldier. I'm not a fighter. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I was just the fucking repair technician. And that got me thinking. I'm a survivor. I'm the survivalist. John was the fighter. But he's another problem. Tomorrow, I'm going to see if we can wake him up from his coma. Jesus. Yeah. If that's not possible, then we might need to look into opening up some more of those cryobots. Seeing what we can do. If we can, then it will be good. I know it's not a good idea, but I'll go through the records. I'll see if we can find someone else out there like Marcy. And what are you going to do? I don't know. If there's not, then we can run a test. What are you talking about? I don't want to bring it up to the overseers. It was a dumb idea I toyed with. Him knocking back the drink completely. And he does go to reach forwards, wincing again and pouring himself another one. Knocking that one back as he's going to pour another. And Chloe does bring her hand up and fully turn towards him, grabbing him as she's to drain her glass and go to ask, Okay. What is this dumb idea he's toying with? Our entire lives have been fabricated for a plan. And we can use that. We can see about testing people for genetics. And if we need to, give them a choice to mutate. I know how it sounds. Jesus, Izuku. I don't even know where to begin with that. I know. It sounds horrible. It does, but it sounds like a plan. You don't think it's that bad? No, it's fucking terrible, but we've had to do things to survive. We have. Are you okay? Still having the nightmares? I am. But I'm getting better. I'm reliving it. This one dream, you're wounded, you're trying to figure out what we should do. You were stabbed over and over again, and you were holding a spear. Marcy was being dragged away after being wounded. We were hungry, thirsty, starving. And I heard the radio go off, and I screamed and I woke up. That's as far as I've gotten with the nightmare. I remember that day. What happened? We were in the villa. We were trying to find food. I went through one of the clouds and it wasn't good. Marcy went up the stairs to a building and she caught a bear trap to the knee. She turned, tried to evade a shot and run through the building. She fell, and the bear trap caught her in the leg. She got back up and tried to pry it off, but it didn't work. By the time one of those ghost people found her, they threw a spear and she turned the wrong way and it got her. I remember she was dragged off. We went after her. You got shot in the side. Him turning and bringing a hand up to go to run his hand over her side. And she does know exactly where that scar came from now. And he doesn't talk about it. It was a hard grace. He pulled on his power. He changed. And he tried to fight. It started to eat away at him. It started to wear on him too much. He took down 3, was hit by a firebomb, and he was stabbed again. Those creatures slashed up his arms real bad. But he was able to catch them. They were trying to shove her inside of a suit, and she was wailing with the gas mask on. If they were any later, then they would have thrown her to the fog. It would have changed her. She screamed till her voice was hoarse. And she couldn't scream that much. When we found her, she was bawling her eyes out. Her body was too weak and she almost bled out. I remember her crying. Her sobbing. I remember a bit of that. How could I forget that? You're a soldier. You're trying to protect yourself. I don't blame you, Chloe. How can't you? It was my fault. No, it wasn't. We all chose to go. It was a good idea, but we were in the wrong place. We fell into that trap. If you keep blaming yourself, you're going to do something stupid. I'm sorry. Her gonna try and turn to leave. But Deku, he does a turn, grabbing her, and pulling her in. Right now, her going to try to fight against him as he does go to hold her. And she does start to sob. She does cry. Silently. Trying not to let him know. Trying not to feel this level of regret. She made a mistake. It's all her fault. It's all her fucking fault. She wants to protect them. They're important to her. They're her family. And now she's being forgiven? No. She can't. But Deku doesn't let go. Eventually, he does loosen his grip. And she does sit there. Just silently sobbing into his arm. Silently sobbing into his chest. And he doesn't care. He just lets her know that he's right here. He is here. Even him, feeling tears begin to escape. He wished he could forget those days. But he's not sure if he ever can. Right now, though, he can do something about tomorrow. Prevent those people from becoming bad guys. No, not bad guys. Monsters. But he's not sure. Do you fight a monster with another monster? Or do you send a man to kill it? Is he the right man? Is he even a man at all? That's another lot of all philosophical fucking questions. Hell, he might as well be a plucked fucking chicken. Shit. Him going to somewhat laugh a little bit. And when it's just gonna happen, Chloe does go to stare up at him, giving him a bit of a glare. And he does go to tell her. That's something he's thinking about. Behold, a man. Where the fuck is that from? Some guy from a long time ago. It was in some fucking history bullshit. Right. Well, I'm feeling better. Good. The two are gonna sit there. And they do to kill the rest of that bottle. Right now, them laying there on the couch and spending the night together there. And Marcy, she doesn't wake up the next morning. She does go to stretch and go to let her wings out to expand. Right now, her giving them a few flaps and trying to think about what she's going to do. Deku stormed out last night and Chloe went to go handle it. She's worried because he didn't come to bed last night, and Chloe stayed up waiting for him. So, her stepping out, and when she does see the two sitting there on the couch, she does feel a lot more relaxed. Right now, her staring at the pitcher of water that is down by Deku's feet, and she does go to walk over. Her going to pat him on the head and rub her hand along his left horn. Right now, her seeing that the damage to it is completely gone. The thing was still scuffed and messed up from a few months ago. But now it's healed. He didn't just pull the whole damn thing off. He let it heal. In fact, she's fairly certain those things are just a little bit larger. Though, she does still miss the hair. Is that what's making them look that big? Maybe. Though she'll just have to wait and see. And right now, Deku, he does get to wake up to a smell. Whenever he does get to smell it, he does feel a little bit of a headache in his mind, along with a soreness running through his body. And there is where he does get to move forwards and pour himself some water. Chloe beginning to stir and feeling a bit of a harder headache. Right now, her getting some water as well, as the two do to join Marcy for breakfast. Right now, her going to make some coffee as she does go to silent glare at the two of them. And she does stare particularly at Deku, since his face has injuries. And she can make her own assumptions based off of that. Though she does get to ask about it anyways. And the answer, it's just what she expected. He did something stupid. That's her idiot. Now, Deku, he even does talk about a few more things. He doesn't bring up the idea of the FEV, or trying to potentially introduce it to other vault dwellers. He does, however, talk about looking into the cryogenic records, since if they can find anything particularly useful, the people in stasis, not only could they be beneficial against the Brotherhood, they can be given their lives back. It's going to be particularly challenging, but he's hoping that they can do something. He's hoping they can be helpful. And he's hoping his idea does work. Now, Deku, he does go to bring up his Pip-Boy and go to write something to the Overseers. And it does encompass his current goals for the day. He wishes to be given access to the files pertaining to cryogenic records. Along with that, he would like to personally see about going to visit John. He is going to try and get information about John today and currently see his conditions. He would also like to request they attempt to wake him up. He knows it might be a bit of a long shot, but he had some time to ferment on this idea. He knows it's particularly odd, but they are aware of Evelyn Pickett, the woman who was experimented on as one of the Enclave's last test subjects. She does have a particular strange ability, and he would like to see about using that. And this, it does mean quite a bit. Right now, he does send this off to the Overseer, along with go through his Pip-Boy records and see if he can find Evelyn. Right now, him going to message her, asking if the two can meet. And she does get a response after Deku does send his message. Deku doesn't get a response back. However, that's from the Overseers. Evelyn does respond that she will be coming by soon. And Deku does to give her the address in the vault. When she does a stroll by their place, she does go to knock on the door. Right now, her turning and going to wave at Deku's neighbors. And over the door does it open, he does go to step out and express right now about how he's glad she can make it. There's a lot they need to go over. He has a plan. You didn't say much in your message. I'm well aware. Coffee? I'm not going to turn down coffee. Her going to be gestured into the residence. And Deku, he does a turn, closing the door. Right now, him going to look out one of the windows as he does go to turn and walk back over. Sitting down as she doesn't get a cup of coffee and go to walk over to the table, asking Mr. Midoriya exactly what this is about. I'm not sure where to start this, so I'll just come out and say it. You want me to use my abilities to. Oh. And you still have that nasty habit. Sorry, sir. I'm curious. Why you think this is a good idea? The Enclave brainwashed John. And I'm just curious about trying to undo it. It's a possible idea, but I don't know much about your abilities. We know that you're telepathic, but that's about it. Yes, sir. Along with that, I have found strange psionic abilities. Psionic. I can project fields of my mind. Are you serious? She's like a lake lurk. Huh. The fish guy? A what? A lake lurk. You can send out this weird force from your mind, right? Does it make this noise, this high pitched ring? It kind of does, actually. I didn't. How do you know that? It means that you were spliced with animal genetics. Though you don't mutate, do you? Not really. The scientists were a bit more interested in my development. And they mentioned that they thought they had a breakthrough in some research. I'm just glad that I failed last year. Or, well, I'm sorry, but the year beforehand. That's interesting. But, anyways, we're getting sidetracked. John was brainwashed by the Enclave. We're hoping that you can get inside of his head. Maybe see about untangling his wires. That sounds very complicated. Is that a no? I'm not saying no to it. I'm just saying that I've never really tried doing something like that before with my abilities. Looking into people's heads is one thing, and consciously doing it is another, but actually trying to change something in their mind, I'm not sure if it will work. Well, we'll need to try it. Are you certain of this? The overseers don't like that John's containment and confinement has been resource heavy. Along with that, we are using quite a lot of sedatives to make sure he doesn't wake up. I'm fairly certain they'll agree to this request. He's very large. He's not something you've ever seen before. I understand, Mr. Midoriya. But am I even sure that this is a good idea? Well, it's either he stays in a coma, eventually wakes up when the drugs wear off, and he tries to murder all of us, and we keep him restrained, or we all have to try to gun him down. The other option is we try this and he dies. But there is a possible outcome where we try this and we can wake him up. Are you sure that's a good idea? I'm not sure of anything. But if we do this, then it's going to be a bit dangerous. I hope you understand the risk involved. Miss Pickett, you want to use your abilities. This will be a good chance for you to do so. And I'm thinking that if you can gain better control over them, you can be a very good asset. You think I can be resourceful? That I can do quite a bit of things. I understand that, but why are you thinking of that? It's the only way to get you out of my head. Oh, wow. I. A cowboy? You are not thinking of that. I'm just going to say it worked. Wow. I'm sorry. That yikes. Okay, I'll stop reading your mind. Just please stop thinking of that. Thank you. I can try, Mr. Midoriya. I really can, but I can't give any guarantees that he'll even survive this procedure. I mean, this is something this complex. I understand that. If I can butt in. Oh, congratulations. If I can butt in, I would like to say that it would be quite simple. The Enclave brainwashed him. We don't know what to extent, and we don't know what to expect. But he's been inactive for several months. That means whatever's going on, his mind, it is in a docile state. He's not actively expecting this attack. Think of it like a computer. A computer, if it has too much data, it will explode. Or it will fry. In this instance, we're trying to remove some data and put them back to normal. It may be more complicated, but it may be possible. The computer isn't expecting anything to change. Yes, it may be a sudden change, but that's just it. If we're able to fix him, he'll live. And if we don't, he'll die? Potentially, yes. I will not lie to you. I see. Did you... Yes, I'm sorry. It's a habit. Please don't think of what he thought of. I know that's a memory, though. Those emotions are way too real. I did not need to know that about you, sir. It was what I thought it was. Chloe, please stop. Okay, listen. If it works, it will work. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that's our issue. If we can get him to wake up, if we can fix him, he'll be a big help to us. I see. I can look into it. But I cannot make any promises, sir. I only want you to try. And if we fail, then we fail. I understand. Her going to stand and salute before she's to turn and leave. And Deku, he does feel a bit annoyed. However, he does also feel hopeful. He's in a better mood than yesterday. And that does say something. Today should be a day for good news. John's family will definitely be happy about this. Though, they probably aren't going to be too ecstatic knowing he's the one who's talking about it. They're already not sure how to feel about the fact that he tried to murder their son. Though, they're also not too happy that he's seen as a traitor to the vault. And that's another issue. Them restraining him, it was to study him, figure more things out. Though they haven't done too many tests, they've done as many as they can. Study his biology, see about his healing, figure out how the fuck he works. He's something called a behemoth. That's what they learned from Deku and the others. These creatures are apparently super mutants who've lived a very long time, who've never died. And they're produced by certain strains of FEV. Strange that do not have the animal genetics spliced into them. They're just pushing the human body to the absolute maximum. And that does have them intrigued. Now, with that being said, Deku, he does head off to meet with the overseers. Whenever he does go to meet them, he does walk in while they are discussing quite a few things. Right now, them talking about it. They're not even too sure if they should do that. The idea of releasing these wild animals into the wasteland could be detrimental. Not just that, the potential with the mutated fauna is bad. Right now, the safest option they would have is to plant trees first. Looking at areas where they can finally activate the secondary GEC. Once it does happen, the time for terraforming will be cut down. Along with that, there is still the problem with meeting with the cons, as they have talked about. They have no idea about this organization. They are aware that they are claiming to be Vault Dwellers' descendants, but they don't know much about that. If that is true, these are people who have built a tribalistic nature based on a Mongolian idea. And that has a dangerous precedent. If they try to meet with these people and things fall through, there is the sheer fact that their offer can be retracted. The location could be good, but after the current things that have happened nearby Quarry Junction, there is the fact that the place is a Deathclaw nest, and the remaining Deathclaws may have been scattered in the area. Deku taking a second to think about that. And right now, he does clear his throat. The Overseer's going to turn and look his way. As he does go to express, he'd like to talk to them about his proposal. We're kind of busy here, Mr. Midoriya. I understand, Overseers, but it is rather important. You may proceed. Has anyone looked at his proposal? I did. I had a second whenever we broke. Yes. Mr. Midoriya's proposal is quite simple. The army recruit Jonathan, the traitor to our vault, who we've kept in study and comatose. He wishes to see about Miss Evelyn Pickett's abilities being used to fix his mind. Really? That is an interesting idea. Not something I think we've thought about. Matthews. Yes, well, I'm thinking about it in my head. We've already had ideas and have thought about feeding him subliminal messages from our vault. Things that would help to possibly counteract the brainwashing, but we have also feared that that may make the situation worse. We've not proceeded with anything. The family is also concerned about our experiments that we've been performing on him. But we've only been doing basic physicals and trying to make sure that he can maintain his body. If things go on for him this way, we'll eventually run out of sedatives. And trying to produce them at the rate we're going at, it is unsustainable. I see. Our options would be clear then. Overseer Burnett? Yes, our options would be quite simple. Eventually come into conflict with our prisoner, or execute him now, and not have the resource drain. How bad has it gotten? His consumption of the material. It's gotten quite worse. At the first 2 months, the dose seemed to be good. However, he began to attempt to waken after his injuries recovered, and we had to keep feeding him more of these doses. Currently, it's at 2.4 of the original. 2.4 times the original dose? Christ. Yes, and even then, we fear that by next month we might have to increase it again. We had a situation where the restraints, they held whenever we thought he was awakening. He began to change and mutate, and the restraints held. He was subdued before then and dosed. But that showed that our schedule was unreliable. We can dose him again then and see about awakening him soon. Mr. Midoriya, you are putting us in a very inopportune position at the moment. I can see that. Though I can also see that things are getting bad with Jonathan. Yes. How well does Miss Evelyn Pickett control her abilities? She still has the tendency to inadvertently look inside minds. In this instance, however, we wish to focus our powers and test them more. My wife, Miss Marcy Winters, she believes that things can go bad. There is the possible chance that John may suffer an aneurysm, to my understanding. There is the possible chance that we can fix him, and he can slowly begin to wake up. We may need to keep an eye on him to make sure things are fine. Miss Pickett can look inside his mind from occasion to occasion and make sure he's on our side. Or, if we do fail, there is the chance that John may wake up and we may need to execute him. I see. Yes. We will need to find something for this to happen then. Undoing this could be possible, but it is also rather dangerous. Miss Pickett's abilities are based on her own mental conditions. As far as we understand, her mind is able to make things possible. How so? Based on her last psychological test, she's done weird things before. I believe she even has the ability to levitate things. Is that possible? That sounds like an old comic book's tale. Yes, Overseer, well, we've seen her move a pen. It was quite impressive, but anything larger than that at the moment may be impossible. Though we're talking about her powers evolving, not being focused. Right now, we would need a scalpel, whereas Miss Pickett is a bit more of a hammer. I do find myself with some morbid curiosity as to what will happen, and I would like to approve this test. I'm firmly against it. Deku, turning to Overseer McKinney, and the man, he does go to stand tall as he does stare at the other overseers. He's already well aware he's going to lose. Right now, there is where Stanford and Barnett do stand up, agreeing with Overseer Matthews. And this is the majority. Right now, Overseer Conrad sitting there, as he does express. He does vote in the majority. Right now, they should pass this. And that would allow them to know what will happen going forward. Deku snapping a salute and going to express, "Thank you, Overseers." He'll see what Miss Evelyn Pickett can do. Afterwards, he will give them a report. "Yes, Mr. Midoriya. You may do that. When you do have free time as well, we need to speak to you about the Brotherhood. Our situation there as well." "Yes, Overseer." "Council." Deku going to snap them another salute, and going to turn to leave. It is interesting. Right now he does send the message over to Evelyn. And he does even go to shoot a message over to Marcy, along with his mother. And whenever Inko does sit there currently stirring her morning coffee, she does go to glance at her Pip-Boy, seeing a message. Quite intrigued as she does it to read it, jumping up and down in her cup as she does go to leave. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing day. I will catch you guys in the next part.